their pain. The truth is out, the case is closed, but our search for justice never slows.
Hey everyone, happy Saturday. Just quickly, I didn't realize that we were going to have more noise outside tonight. So at this point, it's not super loud, but if it does get loud, I may have to end the live. But for now, we're good. Just know that you may hear some noise behind me. There's nothing I can do about it because it's outside. But thanks everybody for being here. I do appreciate it. We have all new stories today to talk about. And one of them that I had seen was there's a woman who's been missing since the end of July. And the title of the video was something to the effect of, residents upset with local SAR team because apparently they had searched for this woman's car and not been able to find it. Well, when I started listening to the clip, Adventures with Purpose seems to be back. They seem to be back. I actually used to follow Adventures with Purpose quite often. I would watch a lot of their videos just because they did do good work. I know there was a bunch of fallout, drama, stuff like that. It did take away from the true nature of what I think the organization was created for, and that was to find missing people. So regardless of what your opinion may or may not be of Jared Leisek, they were able to find the missing woman's car. It was brought out of, I don't remember the exact location, but they were able to bring her car up, and hopefully they will be closer to finding out what happened to her. And then we have some other stories, all new stories, so no updates at all that I have in this. And some of them are going to be angering. Others are concerning because they have to do with TikTok trends. So many of you may or may not have heard of, kids eating Tide Pods, or apparently, I'm learning all kinds of stuff. There are new things called whippets. They're called whippets, which I guess they existed when I was a kid, but I had never heard of it until last week. And that is where kids are getting their hands on nitrous oxide. So lots of scary things happening. And this TikTok trend is car surfing. I had not, I guess, I'd seen, you always with the Pretty Woman, they have the limo with the window on top, you stand up and you're looking out the window. It's been in movies, but this is actual surfing on top of a car. And so sadly, there is a young girl who is fighting for her life after sustaining serious injuries after such a challenge. And we've got some other stories as well. So thanks for being here, Team Brittany. You got the first like finally. SoFlo, thanks for being here. Willow, Sunnyside, Sinner, Ava, used to be Florida. I'll just call you used to be. Yeah, I agree. Mellow day. My day was exciting. I actually got to see my nephew play football, and it was so nice today in New York. I think it was 84 this afternoon. So I was dressed because fall football, you think, fleece, hoodie. Oh no. It was warm, and there's no shade. It's all in the open. His team did win 20-0, so that was exciting. He is a linebacker, and the kid that he was paired up with, so my nephew is very funny. And so during not really a timeout, but they were just kind of like resetting, whatever. His coach had come over to my sister and said that my nephew had asked his coach to check the other kid's ID because he thought they were lying about the kid's age, because they were supposed to be in third and fourth grade. And this kid was a good, probably 6 inches taller than my nephew. And so I thought that was funny, because it's like, my nephew is tall too, but this kid was really tall. And this other kid kept shoving the other team. So as my nephew, got across the line of scrimmage, this kid would shove him from the back. So we're like yelling at the refs, they're not supposed to be. I learned something new today. Apparently, you are able to push someone from the back within 2 feet of the line of scrimmage. I did learn that today. I don't know much about football, but now I know that apparently you can shove someone from behind if you're within 2 feet of the line of scrimmage. But so it was cool. It was cool. We were outside for several hours, and so got lots of sun today. Hey, Kelly Dime, how are you? Yeah, AMAC, I agree. The mission, great. The person, not so much. Right. Hey, MK, how are you? Yeah, AMAC, they're not new. I just had never heard of them. And so, but now they're actually, I don't know. I didn't know what they existed, but now it's like they buy like these huge canisters. It almost reminds me of like caulk that you use in your shower. Like that's what the canisters look like now. And they just carry them around. It's like, what else? What's going to be next? They're bringing in, I remember as a kid, they had those really stinky markers. Like as soon as you took the top off, it was like, whoa, like really potent. Apparently they're using those. They're using Sharpies, nail polish remover, sanitizer, you name it, they're using it. It's wild to me. Yeah, it's been around forever. Well, it's back in my little area. It's back, and let me tell you, it's something. It's something for sure. Hey, Sunday Doodles, good to see you. AP. Yes, they get them at the smoke shop, but mind you, these kids are 14, so they shouldn't be getting these things. But so fluff. Hey, Queen Bella, how are you? Yeah, so that's what we're dealing with in where I am right now working, is kids just using whatever they can get their hands on. I had sanitizer, so it's like this orange blossom sanitizer, and I kept smelling it, and I was like, who is using so much sanitizer? Well, that they're just smelling the sanitizer. Like, come on. Oh, used to put it in a balloon. Yeah, now they just have these canisters they carry around. Obviously not in sight because, well, several were confiscated last week. Yeah, so Flo, it's crazy. It's crazy. I learned a lot about it. That's the other thing, Sunday Doodles, the air in a can for what you clean your computer keys with. Yes. I also use those in my car to get the dust off. Yep. Anyways, that's a whole different story. So this first story is Adventures with Purpose, and this her name is Christina Murphy. She has been missing since July 22nd of this year. So just about 2 months. And they did locate her car. And I do have one more video after this where they talk about, taking her car out and that as well. Oh, the lemon markers. I don't know, Callie Dime. I mean, I was like completely gobsmacked. But I learned a lot about it. I went to Google, I saw all the side effects, I saw, and kids are posting on TikTok. They're posting themselves, not my students, but they were showing me TikToks of other kids who are doing it on camera. So they're videoing their friends do it, and then they're posting these videos on TikTok. I don't understand the whole, like, the Tide Pods. It's crazy. It's crazy what they do. All right, here we go.
The case of a missing nurse from Ridgecrest is creating outrage after many people claim law enforcement isn't doing enough to find her and prompting others to come in and conduct their own investigations. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rochelle Murcia.
And I'm Michael Patterson. It's been almost 2 months since Christina Murphy was reported missing after she didn't show up to work in Lake Isabella.
And Christina is the mom of 3, so she does have 3 children. So very concerning that, she just didn't show up to work one day. And
friends and family believe her car and body may be
Tracy,
under the
how are
Kern River.
you?
But Kern County search teams haven't found them because they say the conditions are too dangerous.
However, an internet-famous dive team says they've managed to navigate the waters successfully. Eyewitness News reporter Leslie Vai spoke to the group on how they pulled it off. Leslie.
I'm glad they said internet famous, because a lot of people are internet famous these days.
Michael, Rochelle, the team known as Adventures with Purpose describes the mission as a beginner's level task, raising questions as to why Kern County's search and rescue teams are taking so long to rescue what's suspected to be Murphy's car.
I was also able to maneuver myself back upstream underwater, proving that, any swift water rescue diver had the ability to get to Christina's vehicle.
Getting in the Kern River is frowned upon by many in the community as it's taken the lives of hundreds. However, many are applauding YouTuber Jared Leisek, who's known for Adventures with Purpose, a voluntary search and recovery dive team for diving in the Kern River to find the missing Christina Murphy. Murphy, who was a nurse from Ridgecrest, was reported missing to the Kern County Sheriff's Office back on July 22nd, when she didn't show up to work. One of her close friends, Vanessa Garcia Morris, recalls that day.
I immediately started calling her phone. It would ring, and then it just stopped ringing at one point and would go straight to voicemail.
KCSO tells us about 5 hours after the report was filed, parts of Murphy's car was found, but they didn't specify exactly where those parts were located. The following day, search and rescue teams responded to a possible car.
Oh, wow. I saw this view. Like, that view is absolutely stunning.
And rescue teams responded to a possible car in the river believed to be Murphy's.
Oh my goodness.
They say they used drones and vessels to see if anyone was in the car. However, they were unsuccessful due to unsafe water conditions. Almost 2 months later, Leisek and his team were able to get into the water right next to it, and they caught it all on video.
I was able to not only make my way back over to the shoreline while I was still underwater, but I was also able to maneuver myself back upstream underwater.
Leisek says he's dove in multiple bodies of water like the Missouri and Mississippi River, and the current did not compare when he tried searching for Murphy's car.
There was nothing that we were pushing the limits on yesterday. I believe that anybody that calls themselves a search and recovery swiftwater rescue diver have the skills to do this.
Many began to question, why couldn't the Kern County teams do the same?
Yes, that river is very dangerous.
And Kelly Dime says, I don't think people realize how strong Kern River can get.
But it never made sense to me. I don't know. I had a really bad gut feeling. It never made sense.
Leisek says while he was in the water, officials were also in the area but left shortly after. That sparking even more community outrage.
She doesn't deserve this. She was an amazing person. She was a good friend. She was always there for me. She's always there for her kids.
And I understand that he's, a douche canoe, but at the same time, a family is now going to have closure. So regardless of, what type of person he is, he was able to find her vehicle when the other SAR was not.
Well, officials say they've been in regular contact with the watermaster from the Army Corps to monitor water levels until it is acceptable for a dive team to go in safely. And as of yesterday, it was still determined to be too dangerous for divers. We also want to note that county search and rescue teams are made of volunteers, not employees of the sheriff's office. In studio, Leslie Valle, Eyewitness News.
All right. So the next clip is from today. They were able to remove her car from the Kern River. Her car was found, but she was not. She was not. So the mystery continues.
On Saturday, the car of missing person Christina Murphy was pulled out of the Kern River near Lake Isabella.
CSO became aware of the submerged vehicle on July 23rd.
According to Lori Meza, public information officer for the Kern County Sheriff's Office, water levels had been too high since the vehicle was discovered to safely remove it. On Saturday, search and rescue teams successfully...
Let me just back up. So I'm curious, because I know I also read that the levels of the Kern River are pretty significant in depths over, certain times. So here it almost looks like you would be able to visually see something in the water, or, maybe not a car, but dependent on, the levels, maybe it wouldn't have been that noticeable.
On Saturday, search and rescue teams successfully pulled the vehicle out of the water and determined the vehicle did belong to Christina Murphy, but that no occupants were located.
Seen a decrease in water levels from July 23rd to now. The water level has dropped about 20 feet since then to today.
20 feet.
On September 10th, search and rescue teams were near the scene, but determined the conditions to be unsafe for recovery. Mesa said a dive team working with KCSO had inspected the vehicle previously.
On July 27th, our search and rescue teams did put a diver in the water with a pole camera, and at that time could not determine if that vehicle was cleared of any occupants or not. So we have accessed the vehicle when the CFS was much higher than on Tuesday. If it were that easy, our trained search and rescue members would have recovered the vehicle at that time.
According to data from the Army Corps of Engineers, which runs the...
Okay, let me just rewind that, because I was looking at chat and I missed a part of what she said. They could see it, but it was too dangerous and AWP got lucky. Oh yeah, they didn't drown. Yeah, at what point do people, obviously, the river was pretty tumultuous. At what point do you tell yourself, okay, it's too dangerous. I'm not gonna do it for clout right now. Is it yeah, I mean, why risk your life just to be the one who did it?
Our trained search and rescue members would have recovered the vehicle at that time.
According to data from the Army Corps of Engineers, which runs the Lake Isabella Dam and controls the outflow of water to the lower Kern River, on Tuesday, September 10th, the average flow on the river was roughly 860 cubic feet per second. On Saturday, when they recovered the vehicle, the flow in the river was around 700 cubic feet per second.
They are volunteers.
Mesa explains who is on these search and rescue teams.
We have a Kern Valley search and rescue team that is made up of people who live up in Kern Valley. So you're talking about people who also know the missing person that everyone's speculating about. They have a deep concern for safely recovering this vehicle as well. It's just we want to really, really emphasize the safe recovery part.
When asked if a viral video by private dive team Adventures with Purpose influenced the decision to remove the vehicle on Saturday, Mesa said,
"The only reason we are out here today is because since Tuesday to today, we've seen a natural reduction in CFS and water flow."
Mesa said the vehicle is part of an active and ongoing investigation regarding missing person Christina Murphy. Corey O'Leary, 23 ABC News.
Okay, and I wanted to find a little more about Christina, and as I was just looking on Google, I did find this article. The family is possibly, not happy with Adventures with Purpose. So a friend of Christina Murphy says viral video by Adventures with Purpose has brought family more pain. Alicia Ernst has been friends with Christina Murphy for 26 years. She says a video by private dive team Adventures with Purpose did not tell the full story and featured inaccuracies. Go figure. After a viral video claimed law enforcement wasn't doing enough to remove a submerged vehicle owned by missing person Christina Murphy, many residents reached out to 23 ABC saying they believe the situation was unjust. So we just watched that first clip that they actually featured Adventures with Purpose saying how residents were not happy with the local SAR. Yet here, this article is stating that many residents don't believe that it was fair. Other families have said similar things. Okay, so saying they believe the situation was unjust. However, a lifelong friend and two family members of Murphy say that video didn't tell the full story and has brought them more pain. Adventures with Purpose live streamed a video regarding the vehicle of Christina Murphy that is currently submerged in the Kern River near Lake Isabella. Okay, I did not know that. They were live streaming. Fantastic. Christina Murphy went missing on July 22nd, though she is believed to have gone into the Kern River with her vehicle. Adventures with Purpose live streamed their video on September 10th. Okay, so this is the transcript video. So let's go to the video and we'll take a look at that. Oh dear, we'll have to watch an ad.
Life is full of surprises, but with our tuition guarantee, you don't get any. Fixed, affordable tuition. No surprises.
After a viral video claimed local law enforcement wasn't doing enough to remove a submerged vehicle from the Kern River believed to be owned by missing person Christina Murphy, many residents contacted 23 ABC saying they believed this situation was unjust. In Lake Isabella, I'm Corey O'Leary, your neighborhood reporter. I spoke with a lifelong friend of Murphy as well as family members, and they tell me this video didn't tell the full story and has only brought them more pain. I met with Christina Murphy's friend of 26 years, Alicia Ernst, while she took a break during her shift as a nurse. She told me she used to work with Murphy.
She treated every patient like it was the first patient she's ever dealt with, and she loved them.
Ernst, who knows both the father of Murphy's children
gosh.
and several of her family members, remembers Murphy as an incredible nurse and an incredible friend.
She was the best.
And I can't
She
pause
was
it,
kind and
unfortunately.
caring and so funny.
On Tuesday, a private dive team called Adventures with Purpose live streamed a video near where Murphy's car is believed to be submerged in the Kern River. With over 100,000 views just on YouTube, Ernst says it's made more people aware of Murphy, but to her family, the attention wasn't welcome.
Privacy was important. Her children's privacy was important.
In the video, Adventures with Purpose accuses Kern County law enforcement of negligence because they have not yet recovered Murphy's car.
The worst law enforcement agency I've ever seen.
But Ernst says the family has been aware of the situation and understands that it's a process that should be done safely.
The biggest frustration with all of this is that she is a person who would have never, ever wanted to put someone else in danger.
She said family members didn't want the private dive team there.
It's under control. They have a plan in place. We're waiting for the water levels to drop.
Ernst says in the video, Adventures with a Purpose makes false claims about the father of Murphy's children.
Josh, get down here because you know who you are. You work for the sheriff's office and you have the ability to expedite this.
You can't insert yourself into an investigation, especially when it's someone who's next to kin. Completely uncalled for, and has now exploded into this big dramatic thing online.
I spoke with Murphy's mother and her brother, Cameron Patterson, over the phone. They confirmed what Ernst told me. Patterson says while he appreciates the work Adventures with Purpose does, he thinks it was uncalled for to bring Murphy's daughter into the video.
As a dad, talking directly to you, if your daughter sees this and you get pissed off about it, good.
What?
I want your daughter to see this.
If you had to say something to these people online who think that they're advocating for her, do you have a message? I
can't believe I can't pause this.
Stop. It's not your business. You don't get to have a soundbite in this. This is her life. This is her children's memories that you're messing with.
She tells me the story not being told is Murphy's struggles with mental health and substance abuse, which she believes led to the accident that ended with Murphy's car in the river.
As to why she's sitting in the bottom of the river is because of alcoholism. With her being an ER nurse, we are expected to go from trauma to trauma to trauma, and we don't have any sort of training to learn how to cope with those things.
Ernst tells me she's seen firsthand the burnout and trauma that leads workers in the healthcare industry to turn to drugs and alcohol.
It's actually kind of one of those things where it's trauma bonding. After a bad day, everyone goes out to the bar.
Ernst says Murphy was always there for her friends when needed.
Back in June, where I was struggling, and she had just had a really rough time with something, she messaged me and she said, "What can I do to actually help you?"
But she wasn't always sure how to help herself. Ernst says stories like Murphy's are common in the healthcare industry and is advocating for change, like being granted time off after a traumatic experience and having access to resources that can help.
She was loving and caring and compassionate and everything you could ever want in a person.
She says what happened to her friend Christina illustrates why changes need to be made.
If you want closure for this, pray for her family. God gave us this human for a reason. She went through her struggles for a reason.
Corey O'Leary, 23 ABC.
Okay, and I did find it on YouTube, so we are going to watch this again just because I wanted to be able to pause it, and the news, I wasn't able to pause it. I don't understand why. Hey, Sweet and Spicy. This is about a woman named Christina Murphy who went missing in the end of July 22nd, 2024. And Adventures with Purpose, aka Jared Leisek, is back. And I didn't realize he had live streamed this on YouTube. And I agree with her friend, like, if you want to, and that's why I had said, like, knowing the river was dangerous, why would you risk your life just for clout? Well, now I even have more confirmation because he live streamed when he was doing it. Like, if you're doing it to help a family, you don't need to live stream it. And I wanted to pause it so many times because, you know, with what her friend was saying, what he was saying, like, just, so we're going to watch it once more. I was able to find it on YouTube. So this way, at least I can pause it, and I can also, you know, go through comments as you were typing, or actually commenting, I should say. Hey, Cash, how are you? Yeah, using her daughter. Agreed. And, you know, all about clicks and views. And to what end? We see it every day. People using, you know, families, missing children, victims, et cetera, to create drama. And the victims are lost in all of it. Hey, Road Rash, how are you? I just wanted to see some of the comments when, that's a good point, Sinner. He never left. Everyone just stopped covering and promoting him. And somehow he found his way in, you know, he kind of sneaked his way back in. And, you know, the news station too, if I hadn't watched that video before my live, I wouldn't have known he had anything to do with it, because their headline was local residents upset with local SAR team, something like that. Nothing about Adventures with Purpose, nothing you know. So why not be more transparent, news station? Oh, really, Sunnyside? He did that in another drowning case and released the video. Like, this just... Oh, he has court soon. I guess this is a way to, you know, I don't know. All right, so let's watch this again. And for those of you just coming in, thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it.
After a viral video claimed local law enforcement wasn't doing enough to remove a submerged vehicle from the Kern River believed to be owned by missing person Christina Murphy, many residents contacted 23 ABC saying they believed this situation was unjust. In Lake Isabella, I'm Corey O'Leary, your neighborhood reporter. I spoke with a lifelong friend of Murphy as well as family members, and they tell me this video didn't tell the full story and has only brought them more pain. I met with Christina Murphy's friend of 26 years, Alicia Ernst, while she took a break during her shift as a nurse. She told me she used to work with Murphy.
She treated every patient like it was the first patient she's ever dealt with, and she loved them.
Ernst, who knows both the father of Murphy's children and several of her family members, remembers Murphy as an incredible nurse and an incredible friend.
And so as this was playing, I wanted to find out more about, you know, the time that Christina went missing back in July. There is nothing that I could find about her disappearance until 3 days ago. So that makes more sense, where the family said, you know, more people are learning about her story, but the circumstances behind that aren't right. She was a gorgeous girl too. Gorgeous girl.
She was the best. She was kind and caring and so funny.
On Tuesday, a private dive team called Adventures with Purpose live streamed a video near where
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this must have been after. This looks like it was after. And it says 137,000 views. I'm curious how many people were actually watching at the time.
where Murphy's car is believed to be submerged in the Kern River. With over 100,000 views just on YouTube, Ernst says it's made more people aware of Murphy, but to her family, the attention wasn't welcome.
Privacy was important. Her children.
And that's true. I mean, her children, and I don't know their ages, but that reminds me of, with the Gabby Petito case. Some people were yelling things when his sister's children didn't know yet what had happened. So I can see, if people are talking, I mean, hopefully the children are protected in some way, but
children's privacy was important.
In the video, Adventures with Purpose accuses Kern County law enforcement of negligence because they have not yet recovered Murphy's car.
The worst law enforcement agency I've ever seen.
But Ernst said,
whoa, hold on. Now, so I'm guessing this person that's next to him is like on his team. It's hard to tell, but to be on live stream and say, this is the worst law enforcement agency I've ever met, or whatever he said. Like, save that for inside your head or after you're done live streaming. It really sounds like somebody else I know.
With Purpose accuses Kern County law enforcement of negligence because they have not yet recovered Murphy's car.
The worst law enforcement agency I've ever seen.
But Ernst says the family has been aware of the situation and understands that it's a process that should be done safely.
The biggest frustration with all of this is that she is a person who would have never, ever wanted to put someone else in danger.
She said family members didn't want the private dive team there.
It's under control. They have a plan in place.
So I wonder how that works. So, I mean, and I don't know because I'm not a diver. I don't do stuff like this, but I would think you would need to have some type of permit or something. You wouldn't be able to just go there and start diving into this river. I mean, I guess you could. I don't know, but to me, now that I hear this part of the story, it wasn't to help this family. It was for him, Mr. Leisek, to come across some sort of way where, just based on the way her friend is speaking, it seems like the family knew her car was there. Like they knew it was there. They just couldn't, like, I think it was, who was it had said it? I think it was Heather had said earlier that it was too dangerous for them to get.
In place, we're waiting for the water levels to drop.
Ernst says in the video,
see, Sunnyside, that's what I'm starting to gather myself. They knew the car was there and AWP just swept in and recovered it. It did appear that other teams were there, not just AWP, but that's what it's starting to appear like to me.
Adventures with a Purpose makes false claims about the father of Murphy's children.
Josh, get down here because you know who you are. You work for the sheriff's office and you have the ability to expedite this.
You can't.
What? Wait, was he just taunting local law enforcement? Hold on, let me just back up a little bit. So maybe they did have to wait, and that's why he was getting all worked up, telling this kid Josh, who apparently, has some pull, to expedite what he wanted. What?
Ernst says in the video, Adventures with a Purpose makes false claims about the father of Murphy's children.
Josh, get down here because you know who you are. You work for the sheriff's office and you have the ability to expedite this.
You can't insert yourself into an investigation, especially when it's someone who's next to kin. Completely.
Oh, I love that she said that. You can't just insert yourself into an investigation.
Uncalled for, and has now exploded into this big dramatic thing online.
I spoke with Murphy's mother and her brother, Cameron Patterson, over the phone. They confirmed what Ernst told me. Patterson says while he appreciates the work Adventures with Purpose does, he thinks it was uncalled for to bring Murphy's daughter into the video.
As a dad, talking directly to you, if your daughter sees this and you get pissed off about it, good.
Wait. Hold on. Whose daughter?
Adventures with Purpose does. He thinks it was uncalled for to bring Murphy's daughter into the video.
As a dad, talking directly to you, if your daughter sees this and you get pissed off about it, good. I want your daughter to see this.
If you had to say something to these people online who think that they're advocating for her, do you have a message for those people?
Stop. It's not your business. You don't get to have a soundbite in this. This is her life. This is her children's memories that you're messing with.
She tells me the story not being told is Murphy's struggles with mental health and substance abuse, which she believes led to the accident that ended with Murphy's car in the river.
As to why she's sitting in the bottom of the river is because of alcoholism. With her being an ER nurse, we are expected to go from trauma to trauma to trauma, and we don't have any sort of training to learn how to cope with those things.
Ernst tells me she's seen firsthand the burnout and trauma that leads workers in the healthcare industry to turn to drugs and alcohol.
It's actually kind of one of those things where it's trauma bonding. After a bad day, everyone goes out to the bar.
Ernst says Murphy was always there for her friends when needed.
Back in June, where I was struggling, and she had just had a really rough time with something, she messaged me and she said, "What can I do to actually help you?"
But she wasn't always sure how to help herself. Ernst says stories like Murphy's are common in the healthcare industry.
And I was looking, because I'm still looking for more information on who Christina was. And one of the first things that came up is Adventures with Purpose, their YouTube video. This is the title. This is the title. Nurse found. Cops left crime scene. What do we do? Based on what her friend just said, it's not a crime scene. Her friend was struggling with addiction. And that may have caused her to go into the river. And this was three days ago is when they went live with this. 3 days ago. And I'll say it again. He's a freaking douchebag. Freaking douche.
Is advocating for change, like being granted time off after a traumatic experience and having access to resources that can help.
She was loving and caring and compassionate and everything you could ever want in a person.
She says what happened to her friend Christina illustrates why changes need to be made.
If you want closure for this, pray for her family. God gave us this human for a reason. She went through her struggles for a reason.
Corey O'Leary, 23 ABC.
Unreal. Unreal. All right. So, oops, I didn't mean to stop sharing that. Okay, so according to, let's see, I'm trying to find, more information about Christina, but let's see, let me add this. Oh, this is just a video, I think. Oh, no, here we go. Oh, that's the one we already watched. Okay. So, as I had said, there's not a lot, and understandably why. They wanted the privacy. To me, it appears that the family and her friends knew where her car was. It just wasn't safe to get it. Hey, Cuddle. Thanks for stopping in. This case was one of my first introduction to YouTube grift, Kylie Rodney, notably Jared the Leech. See, and I didn't follow Kylie Rodney, and I actually followed Adventures with Purpose even, before her case, and then, or maybe it was after. It must have been after her case, because I'm pretty sure if I had seen what he had done in that case, I probably wouldn't have watched him anymore. So I am going to see if I can find anything else about Christine, I should say. But, hopefully. Hey, Glow, hopefully, Jared and friends will move on and leave this family alone. Hey, Peaches, how are you? Although I guess the damage has already been done because they decided to live stream and start yelling and criticizing local law enforcement. But oh, interesting, Castro. Weirdly, had only started watching AWP not long before. So this next story is in regards to a TikTok trend that many kids are participating in, and this is concerning car surfing. So this young girl is now fighting for her life after being seriously injured when this car surfing went wrong.
Ava's just the funniest child you'll ever meet. She's always been one for the stage.
This is Candace Broadhead describing her daughter Ava.
She likes to make jokes and laugh. She has the best laugh.
The 15-year-old sophomore at Cypress High School is a member of the drill team and was supposed to be walking in the homecoming parade on Wednesday.
The parade was canceled because of the bad air quality. And so these kids were all ready to go out and have a good time.
Ava and her friends ended up here at Magna Regional Park Wednesday night around 9 o'clock.
They decided to do the trend that's seen on, I don't believe it's seen on TikTok anymore, but you can search it up other places, called car surfing.
So it's not on TikTok anymore. When I had looked it up, TikTok came up. So apparently it's not going on TikTok anymore, but kids are still doing it.
And that can be anywhere from kids hanging on the tops of cars to the back of cars, standing up through their windows, and then going either at slow rates of speed or high rates of speed.
Sergeant Amy Race is with the Unified Police Department.
The victim was on top of that car, and as the car was driving around, the victim fell off, and unfortunately, pavement isn't as forgiving, and the victim hit their head.
Sergeant Race says the victim was taken to the hospital.
Informed that she had an extreme brain injury and she needed to be rushed into brain surgery, and it was a life or death surgery.
Broadhead says her daughter is in extremely critical condition.
She is in a medical coma, just staying stable, letting her brain rest.
Broadhead telling Fox 13 News on Friday she is devastated by what happened.
I can't imagine a future with Ava not being Ava. It will take months, if not years, to recover.
She says she has received messages from people who've seen firsthand the impact these kinds of trends can have. It's why both Broadhead and police are hoping to bring awareness to how dangerous this can be.
People who are getting on top of these cars and doing the car surfing, once they fall, it's unpredictable what type of injuries they can sustain.
It's robbing them of this beautiful experience of being a teenager, all for a social media video.
Sergeant Race telling me on Friday that this incident is still under investigation. Now, there has been a GoFundMe started for Ava. We'll have a link posted to that on our website fox13now.com. Here in Magna, Chris Arnold, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Okay, so I do have another video, and this is from KSL TV. Let's see. There we go. Car surfing reminds me of Teen Wolf or your brother-in-law. And actually, before we go to this, because Sunnyside said car surfing, ? So I did find this. This is from Douglas County Sheriff. I'm not sure exactly where that is. But it says the deadly trend, car surfing. And this is from May 2023. So almost a year and a half ago. Actually, yeah, a year and a half ago. So it looks like another teenager. This teenager actually died. I'll read this first. So this was Colorado. It is with heavy hearts that we inform you about this recent death of a teenager due to car surfing in Douglas County. Our thoughts and deepest condolences go out to the victim's family and friends during this unimaginably difficult time. In the wake of this devastating incident, we feel compelled to raise awareness about the dangers of car surfing. Car surfing involves riding on the outside of a moving vehicle being driven by another person. It is crucial to understand this activity is incredibly dangerous and the consequences can be fatal. Over the past several weeks, Douglas County Sheriff's deputies have responded to 6 calls involving youngsters engaging in this incredibly dangerous behavior. Some examples. On April 17th, 2023, a Douglas County deputy spotted 2 teenagers seated on the roof of a car through the sunroof. The car was traveling over 55 miles per hour on C470 near South Quebec Street. So they were sitting on the car with, I'm assuming, their feet through the sunroof, car going over 55 miles an hour. On May 5th, 2023, Douglas County deputies were called to the scene of a rollover crash on Quarry Road where one occupant was critically injured. The 16-year-old later passed away. Witnesses reported the backseat passengers were hanging out of the car's windows. On May 12th, 2023, a citizen reported taking pictures of a juvenile seated outside the vehicle on the rear passenger ledge of a moving car near East Wildcat Reserve Parkway. Seated outside the vehicle on the rear passenger ledge. No thrill or adrenaline rush is worth sacrificing your life or the lives of your friends or family members. Here are a few essential points to keep in mind. Life is precious. Peer pressure awareness. Speak out. Educate others. Drivers can face serious criminal charges. Oh my gosh. Okay, so okay, this is not what I had imagined, honestly. Oh, crud. I think I made it too big, so it's hard. Let me see if I can open this in a... There we go. So this is the photo that they had mentioned in that article. This is bizarre. I mean, they do have the, the rack on top that it looks like this kid was holding on to, but what? No way. So Road Rash, this isn't a new challenge. I thought it was, it was, but according to this, it's no longer on TikTok. But teens are still doing it to get views on social media. Teenagers don't understand just how dangerous these actions can be and how their lives can be changed forever. Agree. Yeah, things are, I mean, it's wild. Oh yeah, skateboarders used to grab backup double-decker buses. Not me, never thought still be doing it these days. That's wild. Let me see. I don't think they had any other photos, but let me just, oh, they actually have a video. Okay, why is this doing this? So they have a video. Let's see what this video shows. It's only 17 seconds. So this was April 18th. So this must be one of the instances where they saw a kid. Oh my God, they are. It's hard to see, but where my cat, right above my cat, there is someone on the hood of the car. There it is. They're sitting. Okay, so that's the sunroof. So they were sitting on top of the car with their legs through the sunroof. And so this. Oh, they got in the car, got back in. Wow. I mean, I guess, that obviously it's dangerous, especially on a highway. But I think about, sitting in the back of, my family's truck and not being secured, not being, I mean, bad things could happen there too. But sitting on the top of a car at night on a highway, no way. No way. They are cracking down on it here and will come take your car from your house and impound it if they see it in a video online doing it. Wow. It happens during street takeovers too, and people fall out when the car is doing donuts. And just to think, I mean, depending on how fast that car is going in circles, I mean, that could be really, really bad. Really, really bad. Hey, Pookie, thanks for being here. Okay, so how we doing? All right, we're doing okay on time. Oh wait, I did have one more. I had one more article that I wanted to. I think there was one more article. Maybe we. Oh yeah, there was a video we were going to watch. I just remembered. So this is from KSL TV. And this is again about, I don't remember her name, unfortunately, but the young girl who was seriously injured. Nope. No closed captioning? Eva, that's what it was. Oh my gosh. I am not muted. Okay, so I don't know. It does this every so often. Let me stop sharing and then reshare. You weren't able to hear it? It's silent. Okay, my bad. Well, thanks for letting me know. I wasn't sharing the video? I thought I was. I just hit stop sharing. Okay, let's try that again.
Teen is missing her homecoming after a near fatal car surfing accident. And tonight her mom is speaking out to raise awareness about the dangers of the social media trend. Garna Mejia join us live right now with the details.
Oh, I wasn't. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, y'all. I must have forgot to hit share this tab. Sorry.
On this, Garna.
Yeah, Mike, 15-year-old Ava Broadhead is just one of many teens that have been critically injured in these types of incidents. Now, it's when teens are usually seen on social media videos on top or riding on the side of cars. What the videos don't show, though, is that dangerous aspect, which is what happened to Ava.
It's their homecoming week this week, and they were supposed to perform.
Tonight, 15-year-old Ava Broadhead was supposed to be at her homecoming at Cypress High School. Instead, her friends are wearing pink ribbons for her, and she's in a medically induced coma.
I'm sure it was, hey, we should do this. It would be fun. And not thinking, oh, wait, what if I flung off this car? All these things are going to stop in my life, because in the moment that seems fun.
Wednesday night, Ava was with her friends when everything changed. They were car surfing, where you ride on top of a car.
And the cars drive around. And this is what two of her friends, there was another friend on the top of the car with her. She got flung off and has now suffered a traumatic brain injury.
Candace George, Ava's mom, soon realized her daughter is just one of several teens injured or killed by trying this.
This car surfing trend is actually real. This wasn't a one-off situation. This is happening.
In Colorado, a teen driver was charged with vehicular homicide. In Maryland, a teenage girl died while train surfing. One parent is reportedly taking action, suing TikTok. The platform now appears to be limiting access to these videos.
Wow. Interesting. And I'm just going to rewind this a little bit because I get wanting to sue TikTok, but and I guess they shouldn't allow those videos. They don't allow their AI automatically takes down videos of people live streaming while driving. Why wouldn't they take down videos like this? It's dangerous.
Or killed by trying this.
This car surfing trend is actually real. This wasn't a one-off situation. This is happening.
In Colorado, a teen driver was charged with
Oh, so there's that video or the photo that we had seen on the other site.
Their homicide. In Maryland, a teenage girl died while train surfing. One parent is reportedly taking action, suing TikTok. The platform now appears to be limiting access to these videos.
So it's not always cool to do those things, and it's okay to say no.
It's why Candace is speaking out in hopes of preventing another tragedy like her daughter's.
The most horrible thing. I don't wish it on anybody. My heart is broken in a million pieces. She's such a vibrant girl.
Now, you guys, our thoughts go out to Ava's family as well. Utah does have a statute that could be used to hold those participating in car surfing accountable. Now, that statute prohibits you from driving with or riding in a part of the vehicle that is not intended for use by passengers. I also wanted to share with you that there is a GoFundMe to help Ava's family cover medical expenses. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, a lot of prayers hoping for her recovery there. Garna Mejia live tonight. Garna, thank you.
Wild. All right. So, and I was trying to find her GoFundMe. I believe it was the Fox news station that said it was on there. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to post this in the chat just in case anyone is interested. And so it says, support Ava's fight for recovery. What a pretty girl. So it says, we are reaching out today on behalf of Ava, a bright and spirited young girl who is facing the toughest challenge of her life. Ava is currently in a coma at Primary Children's Hospital after undergoing emergency brain surgery late Wednesday night due to a tragic accident. Ava was involved in a serious accident while attempting, quote, car surfing, a dangerous trend that has unfortunately become popular among teenagers. She was thrown from the car, suffering severe brain trauma. What was meant to be a moment of fun has now left Ava in a hospital gown with half her head shaved, fighting to recover. Before this accident, Ava was looking forward to performing with her dance team at the homecoming football game and attending the homecoming dance in a beautiful white dress she had just picked out. Now, instead of those joyful experiences, she faces a long road to recovery where she will need to relearn basic skills like walking, talking, and even simple tasks like tying her shoes. Ava is a fighter with a determined spirit, but the journey ahead is overwhelming and costly. Her family is asking for support to help cover the mounting medical expenses, including surgery, hospital stays, rehabilitation, and ongoing therapy. As Ava's loved ones, we are reaching out to our community for help. Your generous donations will go directly toward her medical care and the resources needed to support her recovery. Any amount, no matter how small, will make a huge difference in Ava's journey. If you are unable to contribute financially, we ask that you keep Ava in your prayers and share her story to raise awareness about the real dangers of car surfing. Ava's story is a powerful reminder to all of us about the consequences of risky choices. While Ava is determined to heal and return to the vibrant life she loves, she cannot do it without the support of people like you. Please join us in supporting Ava as she fights to recover and regain her life. We are deeply grateful for any help you can provide. With heartfelt thanks, Ava's family and friends. Your support means everything. Together, we can help Ava get back to the life she loves. All right, let's see. I just wanted to see some comments. True, back in the day, motorcycles were dangerous. I mean, they still talk about them being dangerous. And I agree, social media sucks when it comes to stuff like this. But it's, it's to get the views. It's to go viral. All right, so next, this is a story of a 19-year-old who was killed, and his parents are hoping that they can bring more awareness to senseless gun violence. So let's see, we'll start with the video.
The family of 19-year-old Jaden Anderson sat in court today as their son's killer was sentenced to prison, and now they want their family's loss to hopefully lead to good, saving other young people from going behind bars. NBC5's Vince Sims has their story.
Cameras weren't allowed inside the Denton County Courthouse for the victim impact statements of a family whose 19-year-old son was killed. But that family did share with me the emotional words they left for the murderer.
As parents, we mourn not only the life of our son, but the dreams and the milestones that are now lost forever.
These are words a parent never expects to have to share in a courtroom. But Jason and Delina Anderson wanted their son's murderer to hear this.
How could a young person choose violence over dialogue? Extinguishing a beautiful life for no reason at all.
And feel the impact of their
right. And that's in a lot of these stories, that's what it is. They choose violence over dialogue because they either don't know how to use their words, or that's all they know. They just resort to violence because someone said something to them that hurt their feelings. Look at the Baltimore high school where that young boy, there was a fight in the boys' bathroom, and one of those boys pulled out a weapon and shot the other boy. That boy died. So now the other boy is facing who knows how long in prison or in jail. He might be tried as a juvenile. I mean, it's senseless over words.
Of their loss.
And I could tell it resonated. He was very fidgety. He just, couldn't, find complacency. He was, kind of head down and, fighting emotions. And so I'm sure it had a great impact on him.
The murderer, who was only 16 at the time, was sentenced to 40 years for killing their...
Wow. So the kid who lost his life was 19. The kid who did it was 16. That 16-year-old is going to spend 40 years in prison. 40 years. I'm just going to rewind that a little bit.
And so I'm sure it had a great impact on him.
The murderer, who was only 16 at the time, was sentenced to 40 years for killing their son, Jaden Anderson. It happened in March outside a Louisville hookah lounge where the aspiring artist was scheduled to perform. Nearly 6 months later, the Andersons haven't yet reached a point of forgiveness.
And yes, we are praying that God gives us a forgiving heart. Today, I don't have a heart of forgiveness.
They do have a giving heart. They're working on a nonprofit in Jaden's honor to mentor teens.
Reaching out to those kids that are that age, 16 to
13, 12,
all the way up to, 18, 19, before they get into gangs, into the violence.
They hope to keep another young person from making a decision that hurts their life and that of another family like theirs.
All these moments were robbed from us in an instant.
Vince Sims, NBC5.
And this is where I have an issue with the media, because why leave that last 3 seconds, 2 seconds in your video? That woman is grieving. And it's my opinion they should have cut that out, because he could have just ended his sentence and been done. But no, he paused. They showed this woman in her grief, and then he ended his sentence. I just find it appalling. Oh, I know, Cash. I know why. I still want to complain. It's just so. It's just gross. So this article talks a little bit more about Jaden. So parents of 19-year-old murdered in Louisville reflect on their son's senseless gun violence. Loved ones are mourning the tragic death of a young man who was gunned down outside of a hookah lounge in Louisville in late March. Jason and Delina Anderson are in disbelief that someone would kill their 19-year-old son. Most sweet, loving, big-hearted child. Just sweet and lovable. One of a kind, his father said. He just has such a big heart. He loved everybody. He didn't see wrong in anybody. He had ideas and things that he wanted to do, and he was just very determined. The victim's father said he was making his mark in the music industry. We had just completed another double album, Anderson said. Jaden was excited because, we had already made plans to drop the album on July 10th, and that's his birthday. He started making plans and stuff around that and everything else. On Friday, March 29th, Louisville police responded to a shooting call at a hookah lounge in the 1600 block of SH 121 Business. Officers said a fight broke out, and during the fight, a gunman started shooting, hitting Anderson and another man. Anderson died from his injuries, and the other victim is expected to survive. So I misunderstood his mom. Maybe I may have misunderstood his mom because I thought that Jaden had words with this person. However, based on what this article is saying, is that there was a fight between other people, and one of the other people decided to take out a weapon and start shooting, which took Jaden's life, and another man was injured. It's like, what? I mean, I've never been in a fight. But I remember fights in high school, and people just, like they met after school, they fought, and then that was it until they said something else, and then they might fight again. But, like, I don't understand why they feel the need to pull out a weapon and start shooting, because your pride is hurt, because you're losing a fight, because you're not winning with your words. So you're like, I'm going to show them. It makes no sense. So now this kid, this 16-year-old, is in prison for 40 years. He should be in prison for life, but that's my opinion. Anderson's parents were there supporting him when the shooting happened. We have a promotion team, Jason Anderson said. We're about 30 of us, so we get to the event, we're having some issues at the door, and then that sort of everything just popped off. They all got separated in the chaos, and the next time they saw Jaden, they were in the hospital. I was like, I need to see his body because I have to lay eyes on him to make sure that was him. I walked in the room. My baby was so swollen. My son didn't deserve what happened to him. They've now lost a son to senseless gun violence, and a 16-year-old is accused of shooting him. I mean, it's crazy, like gangs. And my heart goes out to those young children, too, that are in that life because it's not the way to go. The 16-year-old suspect is being held at the Denton County Juvenile Detention Center and is charged with murder. Because he's a juvenile, his name and picture are not being released at this time. But we do know now that he was found guilty and will be serving many years in prison. Okay, so I have one last story because I do hear the noise outside is getting a little bit louder, which tells me it's probably going to get really loud soon. So we have one last story we're going to talk about, and this is a feel-good story. California high school graduate wakes up from 40-day coma after crash. So 40-day coma.
It's a story that feels like it's out of a movie. That's what one Fowler family says with tears in their eyes, as their 18-year-old son has made a miraculous recovery following a bad motorcycle crash.
As Fox 26 News reporter Myra Franco explains, Diego Diaz had been in a coma for months. Myra and his family really is calling him a walking testimony of their faith. What a story.
Yeah, Liz, Monty, what a story indeed. June 17th is the day Diego Diaz's father received the call no parent wants to get. His son had been in a crash. He tells me he overheard on the phone someone saying something about trying to revive him. His son would spend 40 days in a coma. Doctors kept telling him, prepare for the worst, hope for the best, and that's what they did.
Let me take you to heaven. And I was like, God, I want to go into my life. Okay. And pulled out a white ball, threw it back, I caught it, and I woke up and I was back.
Oh my gosh. Let me just go back because
hope for the best, and that's what they did.
let me take you to heaven. And I was like, God, I want to go to my life. Okay. And pulled out a white ball, threw it back, I caught it, and I woke up and I was back.
And I don't know, you know, if you believe in religion or not, but I feel that this boy, like, he wanted to live, and so he did. He woke up.
Diego Diaz of Fowler says he saw the light when he was facing life or death in a Fresno hospital bed with his family by his side. He had been in a coma for more than 40 days after he got into a motorcycle crash on Adams and Academy Avenues in Fresno County, June 17th. Family members were told he suffered a traumatic brain injury.
I remember that night when we were in the ICU, I searched up traumatic brain injury and what to do, what not to do, right? Like as a mom, you're like, what am I supposed to do? And the number one thing said, do not leave your loved ones alone. Like, don't leave them. And so for 66 days, and still to today.
Someone is always by his side.
¿Me das un beso? Beso.
And on June 22nd, Diego finally showed some sort of response.
I truly feel like that moment was like the light turned on.
Oh my gosh, his parents look so young. His parents do not look like they're old enough to have an 18-year-old son.
After that, I felt so much my faith. I felt so strong. I was like, he's going to make it. He's going to make it. He's going to make it.
Carlos Diaz says he will never forget that day God answered his morning prayers. Doctors had told him if Diego didn't wake up soon, they would declare him brain dead.
I just got on my knees and I mean, I poured my heart out to God and I begged him to keep him. And I also begged him, I said, if you're not going to keep him here with quality of life, just take him with you. I remember that day very clear because I said, don't leave him, because at that point, my son was suffering a lot.
And once Diego woke up, he didn't remember a thing.
I never remember the crash. I was like, why am I at home? I was like, why am I here? Then they told me everything. They thought I was going to die. And I was like, hey, when am I going home?
How do you feel that you're a living testimony to those medical miracles today?
I'm happy. Every time they want me to talk, I'm always like, God did it.
And you can bet with every sentence he mentioned God. Just weeks before the crash, Diego had graduated from Fowler High School, had signed to play football at Arizona Christian University on a scholarship, and was baptized. He even returned to the field last month to thank all his former teammates for their prayers. Now, hope and faith drive him and his family with the goal of returning to a football field, this time suited up to play.
Everyone calls me a miracle, but it's God's miracle. This is him showing he's still alive. He's still strong. He still has miracles. He just used me as a picture.
The Diazes tell me Arizona Christian University has put Diego's football scholarship on hold so he doesn't lose it.
Oh, that's
Liz
so
Monty,
cool.
they were told even if he doesn't play football, it's his.
It's one of those stories that it's kind of hard to start talking.
story.
Yeah. Diego and his family, obviously, they can't thank the community enough for supporting them during this entire journey.
Right now, they're taking it one day at a time, they say, to slowly help him recover from that traumatic brain injury. But they say he is making big improvements each day. Another miracle.
Go, Diego, go.
Go, Diego, go.
Hi, I'm Monty Torres.
All right. So what a great story to end with. And I'm sorry if you can hear the noise. They started a little bit sooner than I thought they would. I had to pump up my volume in here. It's so loud outside. But Cash, I did write down Giselle's name, and Sinner did send me a link. So I will definitely take a look at that. And maybe, we can go over that case at one point. I know. I mean, what a great kid. Such a great kid. And I mean, I agree. I mean, he's a miracle for sure. He's a miracle for sure. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for being here. I did have a few more stories that I wanted to talk about, but unfortunately, the noise started earlier, and I feel like I'm yelling at you because it's hard for me to hear. So I am planning on going live, and of course they just quiet down. It's of course as soon as I say I'm going to end. I had a few more stories that I wanted to talk about, so I will just add them to my list again so that we can talk about them a different time. So tomorrow will probably be I don't know. I kind of like the 7 o'clock time. Yeah, I think we'll keep it 7. I like doing stuff when I first get home from work at 4:30, but I don't know. I feel like the 7 o'clock time is good too. So definitely make sure notifications are on. If you are new and haven't subscribed, I would appreciate you doing so. And if you haven't hit that liked button, make sure you do so on the way out. So if I don't see you all on these YouTube streets, I will see you all on the flip side.
Let it take me to that place now. I won't ever let my thoughts get away now. I got better things to do, picking fate now. I just want to be the best, call me great now. I don't know if I'm okay or insane now. I remember better days on the playground, hoping I can find my way even when I'm feeling down. I fight, even when I don't know what is right. I'ma pick a side and I'ma take pride. I will decide my fate and I will never let them tell me who I am. If you try to shake me, I'll be damned. Planet on the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone.